think it's confused now. I think everybody's getting the video all wrong that was fucking chopped up, and now everybody's getting it fucking wrong. So they are. So
Where's my mic, man?
Kelly had said to him he's not welcome, and then your daughter is just a fucking rock star. She just fucking went.
Where the fuck's my mic? Still
but no, I don't think it's going to get to that, honestly.
It's 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds.
Make sure she's all right here.
All right.
I'd ask him here. I maybe give him a lift. How you getting back up home?
We're going to get a taxi.
Right, okay. I can give him a lift. I can get a taxi.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I can pull them back up again. And we'll ring you any trouble. And I can pull them back up.
Sorry, son. Oh, thanks for that footage, mate. You're some star. Thanks very much, man. I appreciate that.
No, yeah.
I give you credit at the end of it. So
yeah, see that it's just because you want to earn them.
Yeah. So, I'm Framer, mate. You want to cut this as well? Definitely running. Have you been over and filmed them cops yet? They're getting filmed just shortly, like. Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and we are in Bangor once again every Friday for the last 2.5 years. The men have been standing out in the middle of this road, and I've came down today to a bit of a commotion. I'm going to go into that in a wee minute, but the first thing I want to talk about is obviously my best mate who's lying in remand right now, and that's all that's really in my head, to be honest with you. This here is irrelevant in my life, but not the demo, but what happened here. So I've been on the phone. I was a wee bit late because I've been on the phone to Pinky's twin brother. And it's just difficult. It's difficult for the family. There's only so much I can say, but you've got to understand that this is big. This is something that no man or family should go through. And I have to be careful what I say because it's an ongoing case. But yes, Pinky has been granted bail on Thursday, and there were some conditions, and the conditions have been met. And he is now going to be lying in over the weekend until Monday. Now, obviously, being a right-wing commentator and being around these sort of incidents and reporting on them and researching them going back 15 years, i.e. Tommy Robinson and the rest that's went through persecution because of their ideologies, their beliefs, their care for their own area. I don't know. He's a father. For being a father, let's just say that, because I don't even know how to describe it of what's happened to him, because it's speech, and it's not illegal speech, and this is, it's hard, it's difficult to go into because I've got to be careful what I can say, but it will all come out in a court of law, and that's the bottom line. It will be brought out in court, and everything will be analysed, and you will see for yourselves exactly what's happened. Now, it's a situation, guys, where a man who's never been in prison has been remanded for something. He's lying in solitary confinement because they can't get his ring off him. Now, it's difficult enough being in prison, missing your children and your loved ones. But on top of that, a lot of people forget is the family here on the outside. And even the men inside forget about the family on the outside. You know what I mean? And I can tell you right now that there's more than Neil suffering, the whole family suffering, and it's heartbreaking, like really difficult to talk about. It is. But I'm a wee bit angry as well. So that's like, I did worry about talking to you about this, because speaking, to the family and like hearing everything and how they're feeling, what they're going through, and you're always remembering, because we know the truth. Has me standing here, in front of you, is always truthful, always genuine, always upfront. With limited acts, with what limited I can say, without doing any damage to any cases. Standing here right now, I know that it's wrong what's happened to Pinky, and at the end of the day, he's on remand, you know what I mean, and they can put you on remand. But standing here knowing the truth, and knowing exactly what happened, it's difficult to see the turmoil put onto the family. And this is a problem, and this is something that's going to keep happening to people like me, people on the right of politics, anybody standing up against mass immigration or against anything that is against the government, whether it be 5G, whether it be certain things I can't say, but you know what we went through in 2019, and any other things that they may try in the government, because the government is behaving in a way right now that isn't beneficial to the actual subjects, the people on the street, us guys, the citizens, you know what I mean? And, you know, I keep promising to do this. I'm definitely going to do this tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow because tomorrow's chaos again. The day's been chaos. So hopefully Sunday I'm going to bring a video of these to show you exactly what I'm saying and just a wee bit more evidence on everything I'm saying. So you know it's definitely not misinformation. That there's evidence of what I'm saying about replacement. I am genuinely worried about my country. Is everything all right? The sound all right? Yeah. What's that? Bit of lag, is there? Let me move it away from yours just in case two of them together. Decent. Totally well. So, yep. So just check out. Definitely, it's what's that like, guys? Bring yours away a wee bit just in case it's the two data's knocking about the gar. So yeah, there's a lot of cameras on me here, guys. So yeah, we're outside the Municourt Hotel. Like I say, this has nothing to do. I'm just talking to you about my mate. You know what I mean? I'm not talking. This is like Neil has nothing to do with all this. He pops up here, there, and everywhere. He's a father like me, concerned like me. You know what I mean? Like all these people here, all right wing. We're all right wing. We're traditionalists. We love our culture. We want our culture to stay. We don't want nothing to change. You know what I mean? And anybody with that mindset, as far as the government are concerned, is far right, and that's not right. That's not right. On no level is that right. You know what I mean? And like it's not just and this is like I've come down the day as well. It's not just the what do you call it, the government. You know what I mean? There's also people inside our groups causing problems. Like I've came down to here and a person said to me, "You're not welcome here." I'm like, "What the fuck, man? Where the fuck does this come from?" You know what I mean? As you can imagine, in front of everybody. You know what I mean? You're not welcome here. Go away. Nobody here wants you. And I look around and nobody said a word. So you think maybe nobody here does want me, and then you're thinking to myself, then I'm digging my heels in. This is my country. I love my country. I'm doing everything I can for these guys, whether they know it or not. But that wasn't the case. This is a personal attack, and whether I don't know what it is. I haven't got a fucking Scooby Doo. Honest to God, I don't know what makes people's minds work. I don't know why anybody would turn against freedom, Dad. I just don't know. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I have got to think outside the box. I've got to think, why would somebody do this? Everything I'm doing in this country, all the videos, all the pressure I'm getting, the papers attacks, being called far right, being called racist, being called a fascist, and then working really hard, non-stop, and then coming down here to be told by a so-called patriot that I'm not welcome. Apparently it's over a video that the left have doctored, like as we spoke about, and I thought we dealt with all that, where they took out the word "and." You know what I mean? And there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is do videos about it and hope people like that watch it. But to do that to me in front of people, it's a bit disheartening. And lesser men would have probably crumbled. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm here for my daughter. Anybody stand in front of me, tell me anything that I can't do, I'm thinking about my daughter. All I see is maybe lucky. So see the person in front of me, they become that size. They really do. They become insignificant, irrelevant. And that's it. To me, that's the way I look at it. And it's sad. But who knows? Who knows? Is it the government? Is there somebody behind the scenes doing something? I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange behaviour. And like an hour ago, I'm coming back from somebody's house. We're removing the couch, and a random person came up to me and goes, "Freedom, Dad." A woman gave me a cuddle, and she was talking to me about how she was feeling, and she got a selfie taken with me and everything, and I got her on my Facebook and sent her through Messenger and that, and it was lovely. It's really, and that's what normally happens. That's not what normally happens. You know what I mean? And yeah, it is. This is like the problems that it's always going to come. There's always going to be other people that's going to come up and try and stop me because they've been asked to by somebody who's maybe either paid them or whatever. I don't know. But Freedom Dad is under some extreme pressure right now, and always worrying where the next attack is going to come from. Always worrying about the next newspaper clipping. And people say, Avi and Amy, he says, don't worry about it, ignore it. But it's not as easy to ignore. It really isn't. You know what I mean? It's difficult. I'm always tired. I'm always thinking of content. I'm always thinking, what's the best I can do for my country? What's the best thing I can do for my lucky? Am I doing too much? You know what I mean? I'm not getting any younger. I'm 55 years old. You know what I mean? But I have the energy to do it, and I have the capability to do it. And I don't know how or why or anything about it, but I've always been like this. And like I say, there's a part that helps with mental health, with everything I've went through in the past, with between my mum and in the prisons and all the solitary confinement and all the rest of it. So it is a coping mechanism. I'll throw my hands up to that as well. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be honest and up front. But the bottom line is, I've always been a strong person. I've always been an outspoken person. I've always stood up, and that's why I've been in solitary confinement for so much. Every prison, some prisons have spent 3 months in solitary confinement, and the records are all there. I can't sit and stand here and just share a lot of nonsense. The records are there. They know my record. From 16 sitting in cellular confinement, a 16-year-old boy with nothing but a Bible and boards. That's what they called it. They called it the boards. So obviously that's damaging to the head in some way. You don't realize it at the time or whatever. And I'll never be able to explain it or tell you an example of how it's damaging. But I imagine long term it does do something to people, and then that's just built up. But what I'm trying to say is, I'll never. If somebody tells me no to stop doing what I'm doing, and I know I'm in the right, then I'm going to go even harder. And when you're in prison, that doesn't fare very well. But that's just an example of who I am compared to who that person is trying to tell me that I'm not welcome in Bangor, my Northern Ireland, my Ulster. What's next? Maybe look, you're not going to be allowed here. Is that what she's going to say? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is. It is what it is, guys. But like I say, so it's been a wee bit traumatic. I'll be honest. It's been a wee bit traumatic. Caitlin, you check the comments. You check the comments. It's been to be honest, it is, man. Yeah, and I mean, like, spending time on a phone with somebody you care about somebody you care about even more, is really, really, it's really hard. I think it was 20 minutes in that, and listening to everything. And I'm not going to go into it because it's personal, but please believe me, this is not easy for anybody. It isn't easy for the family. And, Neil is now in there for another weekend, and it's just not fair. And, nothing's fair for us. This is the problem. We are right wing, and we're always going to be persecuted. We're always going to not get bail. We're always going to have the police standing in court and saying things without any evidence. And you're always going to get a judge who's going to read a statement out about how racist you are and how there's no room in society for you. And then it's always going to get put straight into the papers. You've got to understand what I've just said to you there. It doesn't happen for anybody else. It doesn't happen to the migrant from the hotel that has done something to a child. It's all kept quiet. It's all hushed up. But as soon as somebody says hurty words on the right, it's all over the papers. People are doing TikToks about it. A judge is giving a man bail on Thursday, and the man's still in. And now he's in over the weekend. So there is a comparison between the right and the left, or the right and diversity, and the right and immigration. Somebody from a foreign country can come in here and they can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They can criticize me. They can call me a Nazi. They can call me a fascist. They can call me a racist, and nobody bats an eyelid. But as soon as somebody says something to them, and they run to anybody in authority, like Stena Line, or like the police, or like McDonald's manager, then straight away, whoever they've run to, act on it. They act on it, and they don't just act on it as in they act on it full steam. Police are called. Sit down until the police come. Boom. And then, who's the complainant? Oh, right, bring the complaint. What happened? Oh, he done this, he done that, he said this, he said that. Right, that's good enough for us. Boom, remand. Barred off the boat. You understand? See the difference, the comparison of the right and the people that aren't on the right. Like everybody keeps on saying, if you have a man that's a refugee and a man who is from the country, any country, and they do something that's the same, you will see a difference of 2 tier in each of the actions, and that's been proven over and over again. And that's where we're at in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And in Ireland are saying as well, people are scared to even look at some people for want of offending, because once they complain that they've been offended, our police force act. I just watched the video earlier on where the police came out to an American woman, right, in England, living in England. She's got cancer, bald head because she's got cancer. And the police come in their living room and goes, "You said something on Facebook." She says, "Yeah, what about it?" He goes, We want you to take it down. No, we want you. Well, it would have been that, but the main thing was she wanted them to apologize, right? That's what she wanted them to do. That the police wanted her to apologize to whoever got offended, and if she didn't apologize, then she was going to be arrested or be asked to go down and be questioned. Now, in what world does that make any sense to you? You know what I mean? That's not even legal. You can't blackmail people. Like if the police came into my house and goes, you know what, you've done something illegal, but I tell you what you do, you robbed the bank, you've robbed that bank down in Bangor there. But I tell you what we want you to do. We want you to apologise to the manager. But if you don't apologise to the manager, we're going to get you in for questioning. Well, in what world does that make any sense to you? Now, I know it's an extreme, but it works across the board in any crime. It doesn't matter how small the crime is, it doesn't matter how bad the crime is. If you've committed a crime, you get out, you get questioned. The PF makes a decision whether they're going to charge you, and that's the way it works. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And you know, we're seeing cases now where the whole legal system is changing, but it's only changing for one side of society. And unfortunately, guys, it's you that are watching this. It's you that are watching this. It's these guys that are standing here. It's the parents that are fighting right now to make sure nothing happens in this country like's happening in England and Dublin. You know what I mean? And that's a sad fact, It. We are now the second class citizens of everywhere, of Great Britain. There is a clear two-tier where the word of somebody that's come into this country is going to be taken over the word of one of our men. And not only that, but in extreme cases, some men will go to jail. So if I'm walking down the street, has freedom, Dad, okay, and I bump into two Eritreans, and we have a conversation about life, and I say something they don't agree with. It's just something they don't agree with. Whether it's I don't like curry and they do, okay. Now, if them two Eritreans walk up to a police officer and said something that like he said this and that, I can guarantee you I would be remanded because they would get a police officer to stand in the dock on oath and say, we have evidence that he said this and that. And the judge is going to go, oh my God, there's no room in society for this. This is what would happen to me. And I would be lying with my mind. And there would be nothing I can do about it. But please believe me, think about this. Two normal Bangor boys having a conversation with them when we have a disagreement. Do you think if they walk up to a policeman and say, blah, 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 he said this and he said that, they're going to come running and arrest me? They're going to say, no, we need more evidence than that. And this is where we're at. We're seeing that, and we're seeing it in England. I'm talking about England. I'm not talking about Northern Ireland. I'm talking about what I see it's happening in England. I see what's happening in Scotland, what's happening in Dublin. We see that I'm involved in the Free Speech Union. I'm on many group chats, and I do a lot of research on free speech and how many people have been convicted in Great Britain for free speech, and it's frightening. I can't remember the figures because I've got that much running about my head. But the truth is, it's phenomenal. The amount of people getting arrested for free speech in our country compared to China is off the scale. Off the scale. I mean, China and Russia, we've been told, one of the most communist countries in the world, and all the rest of it, and fascist, and you've got no freedom of speech, and if you're sinning against the government, boom, you're in a gulag somewhere. You know what I mean? But there's evidence now that Great Britain is in a even worse state. There's more men now being convicted, more men and women now being convicted, whether they're going to prison or not. They're getting found guilty in prison for free speech in Great Britain than I think mostly anywhere. Do your research. Have a look. Have a look at the numbers. How many people has been done for free speech in Russia? How many? Just do the countries. Do the countries. You'll get your own figures. You can do this research yourselves. And yeah, it's there for the taking. So all right, mate. What you got? Oh, how you doing, son?
Not too far, man.
Good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming up. I'm
No
live.
problem.
Do you want to say a couple of words?
Oh,
No,
just
no.
get them out.
Yeah. We'll not say a couple of words today, right?
You know what? Open up long cakes. Each block. Put them there.
It's the story.
And
It's
stick
not
them.
there's only one spot there.
Well, put them open. That's where to put them. Each block. Long cakes. And put tags on them. Okay. That's the only way. You're a lovely. You're a good man. I'll follow you.
Yeah. Caitlin.
Hello, everyone. Big up Freedom Dead. No, I'm only kidding. Everybody hit that like button.
Hit that like button, everyone. Foxy lad, no way. I'm gonna shout and ball. No money chicken. Hope everyone's having a good night. So he says hello. Hi, Jen. Jen. Still waiting on that Chinese. Hello, Marty. Hello, Amanda. Everyone hit that like button. Get the buy me a coffee into the link if anyone can. Hi, Davey. You can buy the Chinese. Absolutely not, Foxy lad. We made a deal. All right, John, what's happening? How are you? Hope everyone's having a good night. Hello, Ashley Check. Time to rise, wouldn't you like to know? Pinky is good Beal. That's all we know. It's going well, everyone. We're at Bangor Marine Court. Hello, BG. No next here. Well, our daughter. You're all going to get me in trouble. Stop that. I've been told it's not a dating site, lads. Turn the camera right. No. Right, enough. I'm going to get shouted at. Have you got new jeans? No, I haven't. I thought you were setting up a GoFundMe. Free Pinky is right. You're right, Mum. Leave me alone. Ryan, I don't know what to do. Freedom Dad is networking. No, Tony isn't here. Can someone share the buy me a coffee link in, please? I know, ridiculous. Sarah is the best moderator. Thank you. Right, lads, you're all going to get me in bother.
Freedom Dad said no.
No, but in all seriousness, guys, outside Marine Court in Bangor every Friday. Been here for a good few years now. Yep. Dedication. Thank you, Mr. Joe Cool. I don't know. Remember, everyone, like and subscribe. CJ's asking for her. CJ's asking for you?
Make sure you get the Union Jack in.
No, CJ.
Is it your live stream?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, these two beautiful.
Who is it?
This is my nephew.
Hello. Hello?
He's single too.
Hello. What are you talking about? Nobody joking?
Website.
What's happening? Are you right? What do you want me to do? Right, no, move your background. Stop it. Right, I will get in trouble. I'm not allowed to be talking while I'm on the job.
On camera there.
27. Never mind.
This isn't the dating website.
Right, I'm going to pass you back on to your uncle, right?
Aaron, she's too
Right,
good.
your turn. Goodbye.
Here, get the sign up. Put the sign out if you don't want your face on.
Girls
Put the
here, I
sign
wish
out.
I was.
Put the sign out if you.
You're not 60.
Here, look then. Get the Union Jack in.
Where is it though?
There.
No, we can't be turning around on people.
Right, you were you.
Look at me and bother. Why?
All right, okay, there you go. I'll tell you what, it's big turnouts now. Yeah, it's getting good over 2 years. What we're getting at. Is it? You see.
Right, lads, come on now. Freedom Dad's channel here.
Thought you like get the Chinese food.
Even today, there are a couple of days star nights. If you don't like it, get away back out to Somalia, wherever it is you're from. So, no,
Everyone hit that like button, subscribe.
No. Anyway, that's what it is. So
I did not turn you down.
I wish I was 40
Right,
years younger.
never mind, guys. Seriously.
Right, cheers.
You behave. You're right, Galloway. You tell. Sweet chili chicken.
Bye bang chicken.
There's actually a lot of people. I'll turn you around so you can have a wee look. Don't want to get anybody's faces running in, guys, but there is quite a good turnout. And of course, police recording. Always the way. It's not a dating site. Is CJ here? Oh, right, okay, Foxy. Where is he tonight? Right, guys, I'm actually going to go and see where Mark is, so we'll be back in a wee second. Because it's getting too much.
No, I get a phone call if I can get my phone off.
Sorry, guys. Freedom Dad's just having a wee chat.
Keeping well. Oh, what? You're still living in the house? Well, we can't get a seal for it. Is that right? Too much.
Sleeping the ones in the hotel looking out.
So you're all right.
Middle room, one more light on.
Here.
Yeah.
Apollo. Right.
Yes.
Right. I'm Jeff. Right. Right. You know that has Ulster flag
Yes,
with
right.
the Star of David in the middle.
Yes,
Right.
you comment.
Yes. That's me.
No,
Okay.
I'll give you a wee shout.
Do you want me to give you a flag?
Do you have flags?
Uh-huh.
Loads of them.
I got loads of flags. Do you want me to give you the one I have?
No, you keep it for yourself. No, honestly, don't worry about it. Yeah,
But you know what, who I am? Right. The one that the Ulster flag was.
No very well, mate.
Right,
Knuckles.
okay.
He's just talking at the minute, mate.
Right. Good idea. And then once, how do you stop them? I says to the like, see if I have a stick and I put the stick in their throat and smoke. And they go, went over the other way. They go, when I get done, here's the go. See the old people, and they just walk and see. You know, sit there. You know, with my stick, you go,
Yeah.
you know, well, I don't know if I got do something useful. And I'll stand right there. And overtime, what?
I says, here, love, I says, you got something. That's what I said. I said, well, yeah.
Like a shark.
Yeah.
Tell them to shut their face.
Hit the like and share button, guys.
I'm not talking.
I need to go and get do the job. Right, bye bye. Well, everyone hit the like and subscribe button. How many do we have on? 2, 4, 5. No. Freedom Dad's just talking to a few people. It'll be a couple of minutes. There he is, guys. Back again.
Yes.
They'll say you're a dental fan as well now. Because I've been putting your channel up.
Oh, right. So I am been networking, you know what I mean?
Like I
yeah,
said,
talking, yeah, talking. Check, see if there's anybody going to be talking. But no, it's all good. It's a great feeling. You've got to understand that, you know, it is an amazing feeling, you know, talking to people. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? That interaction when I first went live? I'm going to start going live when I come in. So I catch stuff. But no, apart from the first carry on, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, at the end of the day, I know me, I know who I am. Everybody else knows who I am. You know, quite a lot of my followers, you know, and my enemies analyze my videos. You know what I mean? And you know, I have a good following of really good patriots, dedicated, loyal men and women who are here for the right reasons, and that's why my platform is so good. It's not about being free and not making any money. It's the fact that we're all on the same page. And there's only two groups of people in this world right now. Like I keep on saying, it's the people who, and I can explain this as well, by the way, for people that don't understand why there's not so many people, patriots, are coming out and supporting people like us and getting behind such a cause which is so damning for our country. You know, there is two categories, and there is a category in our country who believe that because of what we've done in the past, like Iraq and all the rest of it, and Syria or whatever, not Syria, Afghanistan and Iraq, and I'm sure we've done damage elsewhere. But you know, we've been involved in a lot of stuff with the Americans, and I think some people in this country, in Great Britain, believe that we deserve what we're getting. So that is that is true. You know, there is a section of our community who just sit back and whether they don't have children or whether they just don't care about the future because they're not going to be here. I don't know. I'm not the psychology behind it, but there definitely is a big section of our community who are sitting back, knowing what's going on, knowing the damage that's coming, but yet thinking, well, get it up, yes. And you know, it'll take psychologists to work that out. You know, but there is a division, and you know, it's a small fraction, but they are there. The other part of our guys, the real patriots who know what's going on. Um, the reason why they're not coming out is because of the newspapers. Because, and this is what the newspaper, this is what you don't realize, guys. When you see the headlines of Freedom Dad and it's fascist, you know, runs riot on boat, being racist to staff and passengers, you know, that puts people off coming to places like this. When you see Freedom Dad, far right, racist, that puts people off. And it's not about me, really. Like, it's not about the demos. It's the psychology behind of seeing racist, fascist, and far right. It's a trigger. It's something that they do, and they keep pushing it. And people read that, see that, hear that, and whether they believe it in deep, subconsciously they believe it, because it's just something in society that it's a trigger that advertisements use. It's something that when you're going in the shop and you see advertisements and it triggers you to buy something. It's the same sort of idea what the media are doing to the people of our country and the outstanding United Kingdom. And it's understanding the psychology behind it all and how it works, and why the papers keep calling a man like me far right and racist, when that man is online so open and honest about everything in his life. And not only that, but he has the full support of all his friends that's known him all his life, and the support of community that live in these communities that know these friends all his life. And would I would look a bit ridiculous standing here. The only people I would have around me would be far right, if I was far right and pretending to be not far right, and everybody knew I was far right, and I was coming on here and telling you I'm not far right. That would be fucking mental, guys. You know what I mean? People would just look at me and go, well, you are far right. You're saying you're not, so you must be lying about everything else. So that's the way it works. It's as simple as that. When you're online opening your heart to people and you do over 700 videos and you talk about abuse, you talk about suicide, you talk about losing people, you talk about trauma, you talk about complex PTSD, and you put everything out there for everybody to see, because you know it's going to better the future of anybody suffering what I've went through, locking myself away for years, not wanting to speak to nobody, pushing everybody that loved me and cared about me away, so people know, yes, what you're doing, it's normal, there's nothing wrong with you, but you can come out of it, and that's all part of it. That little bit of information that I can give to people can save people, and that's the bottom line of it. So with that is, I get the far right and all that, but this is what I'm trying to say to you in a nutshell, guys. It's not going to stay like that forever. Something has to give, and we've seen the first clink in the armour yesterday. When Nolan came out to East Belfast to try and do what Freedom Dad does, that is the first sign. That is the first sign that something is changing. When you hear Nolan today sticking up for East Belfast residents, let's be honest, for the first time, not calling people racist and all the rest of it, give a wee bit of respect where respect is due. But this is what I've told you a long time ago. The media will change to suit us, because they need us to watch them and listen to them and buy their papers. Do not be fooled by this. I told you this would come. I told you that they will change, because think about it. If you own a newspaper and you're pushing out the far left rhetoric and everybody's racist, far right, and blah blah, and there's nothing wrong with mass immigration, and there's no such thing as grooming gangs, whatever, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And you're seeing otherwise. Eventually, slowly, the nation turns against them. And they're at that stage now where they're over 50%, and they're starting to feel it. Okay, it's coming down from the top. The money's getting tight. We're not getting the many views. They're watching these citizen journalists instead of you. We need to change. So what do you change? Think about it, guys. If you sell your soul and read out whatever anybody wants you to read out that controls you, what are you going to do? You're going to change everything. So they're not they're not viewing me. So why? Oh, because you're calling them racist and far right, because you're saying mass immigration is okay, and there's no evidence of any harm, and they're all overreacting. And Freedom Dad's just a wrong in a bank robber, blah blah blah. That's going to change. They're going to start going, right? Yeah, mass immigration is a problem. Oh yeah, they did cover up the grooming gangs. Yeah, social work did go to a 15-year-old's wedding. Yeah, the police did let a child drive away with 3 Muslim men in the car. But they're not just there yet, but they will get there, guys. They will get there. Please believe me, because I'm there, right? I'm already 2 steps, 5 steps ahead of them. And that's the problem. Because a bank robber, an orphan bank robber from South Belfast, is telling everybody what's going on, telling the people in Northern Ireland what's going on, and they're trying every trick in the book to bring me down, as you've seen. Not as you've seen, but as I've told you tonight. This won't be the last. It'll never be the last. But you know what? I'm going to say this once more. Anybody comes up against freedom, Dad, I don't care who you are. Don't care who you are. I'll never ever stop what I'm doing. Because you know what? When you're looking at me, slobbering at me in my face, I see my wee Lucky. And you disappear down to there. To see what that is down there, that's irrelevant land. That's what land you're in. You're in irrelevant land. My wee Lucky's up here. My wee Lucky's got the spotlight. My Lucky's got every man and woman in this country fighting for my wee Lucky. And you're either for my wee Lucky or you're against my wee Lucky. And I'm telling you now, guys, all you're going to do is bury yourselves, sink yourselves. Anybody comes up against Freedom Dad, people will know who you are and what you are and what you're all about. There's no two ways about it because Freedom Dad is an open book. There's no secrets. There's no hidden agendas. Everybody knows me. I've run about the streets of Belfast since I was a wee boy. You know, I've had more trauma than you can imagine. There's things that's happened to me that I haven't even told you about. You know what I mean? So don't come at me with weakness, or you need to come at me with tanks. You need to come at me with RPGs, rocket launchers, fucking the big base bombs from whatever. You need to come at me. You know, I am bulletproof. I'm telling you, I've always said that I am bulletproof. And you know why? Because there's somebody looking after me. There's somebody up there looking down, looking after me. And I've walked on this planet and I've been in some situations in my life. And please believe me, this is a walk in the park. There's nothing going to stop Freedom Dad doing what he needs to do for Northern Ireland, or for even Ireland, for the island of Ireland, for the Great Britain and the Ireland, every single Westerner, every single white person or Christian person. I don't care, because we're all sick of this, so we are. Oh, you're just thinking about the white. No, we're not just thinking about the white. It's you are forgetting about the white. This is what's happening, you know what I mean? And it isn't about skin colour. We know that. But this is what you are driving people to do. This is what people are getting on the street. I'm having to spend most of my time telling people, listen, you know, it's not about skin colour. I know they're all going on about brown. I know Alison Morris keeps saying brown, brown, brown. It's not about that. But if you keep going on about that, then people are going to start going on about white. Can you not see what you are doing? You know, I'm out here trying to tidy up after you guys use mainstream media, because a lot of people have woke up in the middle of this and they don't know what's going on. And all you're doing is jumping about calling everybody racist and fascist and far right. So when these people, all right, buddy, how you doing? I know bad, no bad. So when these people are waking up in the middle of this and they're seeing all these headlines and everybody that supports this kind of thing is far right racist and a fascist, they're going to believe it. In their heads, they're going to go, I must be far right and racist because I don't want mass immigration. I must be far right and racist because I don't want any more children going through what's happened in England. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where we're at. This is Northern Ireland, you know, and we are doing everything we can in our power to stop what's coming. But also the left are also doing everything in their power to stop me. You know what I mean? So it's down to us to be clever prods, be clever prods, and be aware of what's coming. You know, they are going to use everything in their book. Anybody who is already working for the police in Northern Ireland will be being used against the right wing of politics. Please believe me. Anybody that's been, that, you know, because we know we're infiltrated. We know every part of our society, every part of our organisations have all been infiltrated by MI5 and special branches. We know that. You need to be dumb to think that you're a part of an organisation that isn't. You know, let's be honest. You know, Patriot world, of course it is. But this is what I'm trying to say. Right now in Northern Ireland, all our focus is in bringing us down. That means us, citizen journalists, Freedom Dad, Stephen Baker. Again, you know, I've had a really long day. And, you know, anybody involved with the right, Lindsay. And Richard Inman, of course. And, you know, and Neil, Pinky, and Ryan. You know what I mean? So it's like, these are we are the targets. We are now the targets, and it is scary. It is a scary situation because we now have people who are working for the police on both sides of the community being told by their handlers to get what you can, do what you can to break up the movement of the right that's growing in Northern Ireland. And it isn't the movement of the far right. I'm not controlling the far right. I do not control the far right in Ireland. Ridiculous, because this is what the papers are saying. I'm a citizen journalist who's bringing everything that's happening in Northern Ireland about the right to telly, to the world, to everybody that wants to listen. Anybody that's interested in Northern Ireland, you can watch my channel and you'll get a step by step. Or MTax, who's standing right next to me on YouTube. EMTEX, yes, MTax Media. Now, the video I brought of Nolan today, I give him credit at the end of it, but you've got to go on his channel and give him a subscribe. He is up there with CJ, I promise you guys, and he's got nowhere near the back of the following, and it's not right. When I see somebody that's doing so much work and putting so much effort in and going through so much in life, because we all go through stuff in life, and he's just like me, just like you. We're all dealing with personal stuff, right? And this is his way of dealing with it. This is like this is his output. This is his world. He does this. He goes. He's a photographer. If you need any photographs done, your kids' weddings, he's your man. But he's also a citizen journalist, and whether he's right or whether he's left or whatever, not doesn't make a difference. He's a citizen journalist. He does everything fair, and yeah, it's this is what it's about. And everybody needs to have their head in the swivel. Everybody needs to understand that this is real life. This is serious. This isn't a joke. I am in serious danger. He's in serious danger. Richard's in serious danger. Anybody involved with the right of politics is in serious danger right now. Okay? And I do worry, as you know. Of course I do. But all I want you to do is follow, subscribe, share, leave a comment, send some love, tell your friends, let your friends know about MTax, Richard, Truth Podcast, CJ. This is how we work. You know what I mean? Get the word out. That's all you got to do. You don't have to give me money. You don't have to. It's free to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. Show the government who you're listening to. Show the government with your likes and your love and your shares and your views who's relevant in this country and who's irrelevant in this country. I'm Freedom Dad. I'm outside the Marine Court Hotel every Friday at 7 o'clock for the last 2.5 years. These guys have been doing it, not me. These guys have been doing it 2.5 years. One of the first hotels ever to be protested outside in the whole of Great Britain. You're at it right now, the Marine Court Hotel.